I think we've got off to a decent start this year. We had 4 individuals place at the Binghamton Open. One of our freshmen, Matt Bystall, took 6th at 133. He surprised us, and he's really turned out to be pretty tough. 149 Santos had a great start. He beat a guy that he went back and forth with last year, who was an NCAA qualifier from Binghamton. His name is Donnie Vinson. He was ranked 13th at the time, and Santos beat him for 3rd place. 84, Nick Mills, who was out for the entire season last year for his freshman year, took 3rd at 184, and he's ultra talented, very athletic, and when he makes his mind up to score, he scores. So he's had a good start to the season. And then Kevin Lester at heavyweight took 2nd, and Lester had a good showing, made the finals, lost to a guy who's really tough, but. So that was Binghamton. Then the next weekend we went to the Disney Duels. I think this is the first time they've had this for college teams to promote college and Division I wrestling in Orlando, Florida. And we wrestled Indiana. We opened with before wrestling the Citadel. Indiana, we wrestled a really close match with. We wrestled really strong. We split 5 matches to 5, and we unfortunately lost on bonus points, but for 3 of the 5 bouts that we won, we came from behind to win, where we scored a takedown right at the end to win. So that was really good to see, especially for some of our young guys. In the next match, we wrestled the Citadel, and we looked a little flat, but we still wrestled well enough to win that duel. Then the following week, we went to the Northeast Duels in Troy, New York, and we had 2 really tough teams, University of Virginia and Rutgers. And then we wrestled George Mason University as well. Virginia was ranked 23rd at the time, and we just looked a little flat. It was our first match of the day, and we just didn't come out strong and aggressive like we should have. We won 1 bout. 3 of the bouts should have. I thought we could have walked away with 4 victories. One of them we lost in OT. So then we got ready to wrestle George Mason, handled them pretty well, and then wrestled Rutgers University, who was at the time 24th in the country, and we didn't come out on top of that match, but we had some good individual performances. Steve Santos led the team. At the time, he pinned Mario Mason, who was then ranked 11th in the country, but is now ranked number 5 in the country. So that was a good match. He was down 5-2, came back, tied it up, and then pinned him. So that was a great win for him. And we had a couple other matches that were pretty close. Last weekend we went to Las Vegas, and everyone knows that's a nationally competitive tournament with teams from every major conference in the country represented there. And 2 guys placed. Kevin Lester at heavyweight took 7th, and during that tournament he beat the then ranked number 18 and 19th ranked kids in the country from Bakersfield and Cal State Fullerton. Then Aaron Savan wrestled well, also took 7th, and beat some pretty good kids. And there was definitely a couple of matches they both could have won to place even higher, but it was a good experience for them to get out there and wrestle high level. So the rest of the team we thought fell a little short of our expectations, but it was pretty tough to go 4 weeks in a row straight through Thanksgiving. But it was a good experience. Definitely gave us an idea of some things that we need to work on, and those are the guys that we're going to be seeing at the NCAA tournament. And Kyle Gilchrist at 133 has done a pretty solid job for us at the Northeast Duels. He went 3-0, beat some pretty good kids. Beat a competitive kid from Virginia, beat his opponent from Rutgers. He had a forfeit against George Mason. A week prior to that, at the Disney Duels, he beat a really tough kid from Indiana. That was a key victory for him, and also won his match against the Citadel. So Las Vegas didn't go as well as we would have liked for Kyle, but this is his junior year now, and I really think he's gonna start to shine the second semester. At 145 49 pounds, I mentioned Steve Santos. He's had 2 key victories this year against Donnie Vincent from Binghamton and a really big win against Mario Mason from Rutgers. So Santos, he's never out of the match. He comes from behind, really with like he's on fire sometimes, and wrestles a really high pace, works incredibly hard. He does a really good job of staying in every single match, and I really think he's going to be one of the top guys in the country this year at 149. 165, Aaron Savon showed us what he's capable of this past weekend at Las Vegas. When Aaron makes his mind up that he's going to compete and he believes he can beat someone, there's really very few people that can compete with him. So he's looking to build off this past weekend's experience, and we are expecting him to be an NCAA qualifier once again this year for us. 184, Nick Mills came out pretty strong this year and beat 2 guys who were ranked in the top 20 in the country. One guy was from Indiana and another guy was from George Mason University. They were both NCAA qualifiers, I believe. And like Savon, when he makes his mind up and he decides he's going to compete hard and wants to score, he's really tough to stop. As I said, he's really strong, really athletic and explosive. And we're just real happy to have him in the lineup after him sitting out his whole freshman year. And then Lester, we were really impressed with Lester at heavyweight this past weekend. He started off okay the first tournament at Binghamton, but it really was at Las Vegas this past weekend where he really came into true form. He nearly upset Jared Trice from Central Michigan, who I believe about 2 weeks ago was the number 2 ranked heavyweight in the country, and he just had him on the ropes the entire match. But he was really wrestling really hard, getting his offense going, and wrestled at a really high pace, which is really his strongest asset is his ability to wrestle. He's someone who's aggressive and likes to go out and score points. So I really think he really made a big jump this past weekend. The captains this year are Nick Standish, he's a senior, Kevin Lester, he's a junior, and Kyle Gilchrist, who's also a junior. We pick captains, we pick Lester and Standish in the spring. And then what we did was we wanted to wait until after the first couple competitions and see who did the best job of leading our team in the practice room, in the classroom, off campus, and who we really thought was conducting themselves the best in all those areas. And we decided that Kyle Gilchrist was the next guy. So those 3 are our captains for this year, and we like all of them. We think we have great leadership this year, and we're looking forward to them leading the team throughout the season. We open with Army, and then the next day we come back home for our first home match versus Binghamton. 2 tough teams. Following those matches, we have the New York State tournament. We have our Ivy League schedule, which is really strong again. And then we have our conference tournament in March. So our goal once again this year is to qualify as many guys as we can for the NCAA tournament. And we really think we have several guys who can do that this year. Our dual meet schedule the rest of the season is going to prepare us well. And we're really happy with the progress of the team in terms of the work ethic, their attitude, making adjustments. We are still fairly young, so there are guys on the team who are learning. We've had 2 freshmen in our lineup right now who've been doing a good job, and our goal is just to make those 2 guys and the rest of the team as consistent as possible. We've shown flashes of brilliance throughout our 4 competitions. Sometimes it's 3-4 guys here, or it's 5 or 6 guys here, but our goal for us to really be as competitive as we can to have a solid dual meet record and get as many guys as we can to the NCAA tournament and to hopefully come back with some All-Americans is to get the team consistent. What we need to do, we've certainly seen the competition, some of the best guys already in the country, and that's going to bode well for us in terms of preparing for the postseason.